Throughout time, people across the world told each other tales of how they came to be, of heroes and monsters, romance and tragedy, death and rebirth. Mythology helped shape the ancient world, explaining the unexplainable. This is Mythology Unleashed. During the Christmas season, young children all over readily await the arrival of Santa Claus. Also known as Father Christmas, Kris Kringle, Saint Nicholas, and many other names, Santa Claus is without a doubt the face of modern-day Christmas. His character and exploits are well renowned. He is an overweight elderly chap with a full white beard, a red fur suit with white trim and a matching hat. He has a jolly and kind disposition, with a distinctive, hearty laugh. He lives in a large toy factory in the North Pole where he and a battalion of elves craft toys for the well-behaved children of the world. On the night of Christmas Eve, he bundles the presents into a sleigh pulled by 8 reindeer, with the red-nosed Rudolph in the lead. While everyone is asleep, he leaves the presents beneath the Christmas trees, and within stockings hung for the children to open on Christmas morning. It is a delightful and heartwarming tradition. But where do the legends of St. Nicholas come from? Santa Claus's roots trace back as far as the 4th century CE to a monk named St. Nicholas. Born in Patara, near Myra, in modern-day Turkey, St. Nicholas is said to have inherited his family's wealth at a young age, and proceeded to travel the countryside, aiding the poor, the infirm, and the young. Legends of his generosity and piety would spread throughout Europe. In one particular tale, an impoverished father of 3 daughters did not have enough money for a dowry, so his daughters could not get married. To ensure the man's daughters would not be sold off into slavery, Nicholas secretly dropped a bag of gold down the chimney and into a stocking that had been hung by the fire to dry. The daughters finally having a dowry of their own, the father investigated the fortunate, albeit strange, occurrence, until he discovered the secret gifter. Nicholas begged the man not to tell anyone what he had done, because he did not want to bring attention to himself. But soon the news got out, and when anyone received a secret gift, it was thought that it was from St. Nicholas. Over the course of many years, Nicholas's popularity spread, and he became known as the protector of children and sailors. By the Middle Ages, a tradition had been established in which many European Christian children were left gifts on the evening of December 5th, allowing them to wake up and open their presents in honor of St. Nicholas' feast day on December 6th, the anniversary of his death. By the Renaissance period, St. Nicholas was the most popular saint in Europe. The legend of St. Nicholas became further mythologized in the Netherlands, Belgium, Luxembourg, and northern France, where he was known as Sinterklaas. Sinterklaas was said to have a long white beard and wore a red cape over a bishop's garment, similar to what the real St. Nicholas would have worn. He would also carry a large red book full of children's names documenting whether each had been naughty or nice over the course of the year. During the Reform period, Martin Luther discouraged the veneration of saints in order to prevent them from gaining a cult-like following. The feast of St. Nicholas was swept up in these changes, and the clergy urged Protestant parents to give gifts on Christmas Eve instead, to more closely associate the practice with the birth of Christ. Although many complied with the new date, St. Nicholas and the Dutch Sinterklaas remain the face of the gift-giving tradition among Christians of various denominations. Amidst the colonization of America in the 17th and 18th centuries, European immigrants brought tales of St. Nicholas, Santa Claus, and Father Christmas from their own respective countries, and the stories from the Old World eventually began to merge together. The Dutch-named Sinterklaas was anglicized as Santa Claus as early as 1773, and the American Santa began to take on a life of his own. In 1809, Washington Irving, famed for writing The Legend of Sleepy Hollow, talked at length about Santa Claus in his book History of New York, further spreading the legend of the jolly gift-giver. In 1821, an anonymous poem called Old Santa Claus with Much Delight was published in New York, heralding the first time that Santa was described as driving a sleigh being pulled by a reindeer. In 1823, New York City native Clement Clark Moore penned the poem A Visit from St. Nicholas, more commonly known as 'Twas the Night Before Christmas, that made certain elements of Santa canon in the American lore. From this point onward, he was decidedly a plump, jolly man in a red suit who rode a sleigh drawn by reindeer and slid down the chimneys to deliver toys to well-behaved children. In 1881, political cartoonist Thomas Nast drew on Moore's poem to create the first likeness that matches our modern image of Santa Claus. Appearing in Harper's Weekly, Nast's Santa is depicted as a rotund, cheerful man with a full white beard, holding a sack laden with toys for lucky children. It is Nast who gave Santa his bright red suit trimmed with white fur, and subsequently his North Pole workshop, his elven workers, and his wife, Mrs. Claus. As time went on, books, newspapers, magazines, radio shows, and films would reinforce Santa's popularity in the United States and elsewhere, with the cheerful character eventually becoming ubiquitous in countries where Christmas is celebrated by a significant portion of the population. Those who find themselves interested in his origins will find that Santa Claus has a rich cultural history that evolved throughout the centuries to become the charming tale that is today.